Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have this festive Christmassy look for you. I wanted to use your traditional Christmas colours but make something that's still quite wearable so you don't feel overwhelmed with wearing too much colour if you're not used to wearing colour. Especially greens and reds, and especially together. So I don't usually go through my base and foundation routine in every video since we all have our own routines and we all know what works for us, but it has been a hot minute since I last wore foundation on this channel, so I thought I'd include it this time. Here we have my sweet baby child, the NARS Sheer Glow, which is my go-to foundation if I'm ever fancying something a little bit heavier than a BB cream. I just apply this with a damp beauty blender and I've already colour corrected underneath my eyes and some redness around my nose. Underneath my eyes, I'm using the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. The coverage of this is fantastic, but just make sure you don't apply too much of it, like I did here, because it's a very thick product, so naturally it's going to collect in fine lines and crease if you go overboard with it. Next, I set everything in place with a translucent powder, and I ran some bronzer around the outsides of my face as well. Then I'm applying a pink powder blush for the first time in forever. I went for this natural-ish pink blush this time. Then for highlight, I cheated on my Ciate powder just this once, and I used this Illamasqua Beyond powder instead. I wanted something that was kind of gold, so it would tie in with the eyes that I'm gonna do. Something like the Mary Lou would look really nice as well. Apparently I forgot to contour my nose, so here I'm using the Naked 2 eyeshadow from the Naked Basics palette, just as usual to add some definition on the bridge and the tip. Then of course I'm going to highlight the nose as well. So moving on to the eyes, as always I'm starting with a primer and a flat base colour, and then I'm running a soft warm brown shade through my socket. Next, I'm applying that Illamasqua Beyond powder all the way across my lid, and I'm also applying it in the areas at the sides of my nose / inner corner area, and also underneath my eyebrow. So for my liner, I'm using this absolutely gorgeous cream colour from Anastasia Beverly Hills, which I didn't even know I had, which is crazy because it's stunning and it's just been sat in a box, waiting to be used. Don't worry if you don't have a green liner though, you can always use a wet eyeshadow in a similar colour, which is actually how I usually do my eyeliner most of the times. I usually mix it with like a setting spray, or if I'm feeling lazy, I'll spit on the back of my hand and use it that way. Make sure you sanitize your product if you do that though. Now underneath the eyes, I wanted the focus to be the gem in the middle, but I can't leave them bare, it kills me. So instead of smoking out the shadow from the lash line like I usually do, I came in from the sides and kind of emphasized my eye squishies a little bit. So I used a taupe shade on the inner and outer corner and then connected them through the middle, leaving that lighter patch in the center. I also added a little bit of a darker shade just at the edges too, so it would pick up better on camera, but it's up to you how much contrast you have. The other eye looks really dark in the inner corner and I don't really know why. I think some of the shadow mixed with an eye goober and then made it darker. So, I don't know, I guess that's just my life now. And here I'm just adding some of the warm brown that I used through the socket before, just to kind of tie it all together. So in that middle section, first I used the Illamasqua powder again, and I also added some gold shadow on the lid, around the inner corner, and in the middle of the under eye as well. I really like this look. It makes my eyes look kind of buggy, which personally I like, but if this look isn't something you're comfortable with and you're not afraid of bare under eyes, then it doesn't really need anything but the gem really. Next you want to go ahead and add that little gold gem. I kind of lined mine up with the edge of my iris, like the outer edge of my iris, but you can go bang on in the middle if you wanted to. It's up to you where you put it. Put it on your nose if you want. It's up to you. For the lashes, I'm first applying a quick coat of mascara and then I'm using these gorgeous corner lashes. I bought these the other week because I just saw them in Superdrug while I was just picking up random things like mouthwash and deodorant, but I saw them and I couldn't get over how good they were. They taper off like natural lashes, so I really wanted to try them. Lashes are so fancy now. I remember when drugstore lashes used to be so crappy. For the lips, of course I went with the oh my god you look like 2008 Katy Perry red because it's Christmas time and it's a Festive colour. It's a liquid lipstick, but I have that thick gloss underneath it, so it doesn't dry fully matte, but it still has that staying power. But then that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this video and this look. Make sure you tag me if you recreate it, because I always love seeing your recreations. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and happy holidays.